Hi guys, Mick here. Tomorrow's pancake day, so I thought I'd show you my favourite pancake recipe. So first of all, in this bowl I've got all the dry ingredients. So I've got plain flour. I'll give you the recipe in the captions below, but I've got plain flour, I've got a little pinch of Maldon salt, I've got caster sugar, I've got baking powder. In this bowl I've got buttermilk, I've got 1 egg, and I've got a tablespoon of olive oil just whisked in. So what I'm going to do now is make a little whirl in the centre and add the wet into the dry. Whisk it together until it's completely smooth. As you can see, it comes together in no time at all. There we go, we've got a nice smooth pancake batter. That'll do that. Now I've got a pan, non-stick, and it's just on a sort of low to medium heat. So this goes up to number 9. I've got it on number 4, so just under halfway. But yeah, you just want a kind of medium heat pan. I've got some unsalted butter. So I'm just going to put a nice knob of unsalted butter into the pan. This is why we don't want the pan too hot, because otherwise the butter will burn. I'm going to creep that up one more. We just want to get that butter melted and just starting to really gently foam. I'm just creeping the temperature up bit by bit on the pan until I get it to where I'm happy with it. Obviously, if it starts to get too hot, you just move it off the heat, turn it back down again and put it back on. What we don't want is to let the butter burn. So here we go, that is melted now and it's just starting to begin to bubble, which is where I want it to be. I don't know if you can hear it, it's just starting to sizzle, just starting to bubble. And it's obviously going to just start to foam up, but without the butter sort of going brown and nutty. We just want to keep it nice. There we go, I hope you can see that, just starting to foam up now. What we're going to do, depending on the size of your pan, you might want to do just one at a time. I'm going to go for 2. And we're just going to batch cook these. Like I say, just keeping the temperature nice and low. If it starts to look like it's getting too hot, then all we do, move the pan to one side, turn the heat down and then put it back on. Now obviously you can do crepe style pancakes, which are like completely flat. These are more like sort of Scotch pancakes. So they've got baking powder in the recipe, so they will be quite light and fluffy. Personally, that's what I prefer. So as they start to cook, you'll start to see the bubbles coming up to the surface of the bottom of the pancake. And it looks like that pan is just starting to get a tiny bit hot now, so I'm just going to take it off the heat for a second, turn it down one. As soon as I hear the pan stop sizzling, I'll get it back on. Really important for this, you use a good non-stick pan as well. If the pan's not non-stick, then you're going to be in trouble. Almost there, another 30 seconds on this side, and then they'll be ready to turn over. These are not going to be the sort of pancakes that we'll be tossing in the pan. Yeah, as I say, for that type of pancake, you really want to be doing crepe style, like flat, large, lacy sort of pancakes. These are more like breakfast pancakes, but as I say, I prefer them. So I'm just starting to see the bubbles now. What happens, kind of like with crumpets, you know, you get the little kind of cooked, kind of little caves, little holes all over the top. That's what we kind of want to happen here. So I'd say they're probably about ready to turn. Perfect. If I say so myself. I'm just going to turn that one round because I've got a feeling it's slightly more cooked on one side than the other. Yeah, absolutely perfect. So that's kind of the colour you're looking for, just nice and golden. These are going to be so light and fluffy. Now obviously once you've cooked the pancakes, you can top them with whatever you like. If you're anything like my kids and my wife, you'll probably go for chocolate or Nutella or something along those lines. Me personally, I've always preferred something a bit more refreshing and fruity, such as traditional lemon and sugar, stuff like that. But on this occasion, I'm going to go for something that's completely in season at the moment, which is a little bit different, also light and refreshing, just purely because I've got some kind of lying around from another dish that I've made, and that is Yorkshire rhubarb. So I've got some Yorkshire rhubarb, I've got some crumble topping which has been cooked, and I've got some vanilla creme anglaise. So what I'm going to do is do like a kind of rhubarb crumble and custard pancake, which I think will be absolutely delicious. So they're perfectly cooked now, really nice and light. So I'm just going to pop those on my serving plate. As I say, you do this in batches. So if you were cooking them for the whole family or for a few people, then what we want to do is sort of wipe out the pan. I'll just demonstrate another batch. But you want to just kind of wipe out the pan a little bit. So what we don't want is to get little black bits on the next batch. And then we just go again. Simple as that. Next batch are in, first batch are out. But yeah, all you would do, if you were cooking quite a lot, just lay them nicely on a tray. Maybe have an oven on low temperature, just ready to give them a very quick flash through to get them warm again. So I'm just going to cook the next batch now, and I'm going to make one bigger portion. But yeah, as I say, I've got some delicious Yorkshire rhubarb compote, bang in season, quite tart, not too sweet, It's going to go really nicely with the pancakes. Like I say, I've got some crumble topping, which is nice and crispy. Again, it's cooked. It's got ground almonds in it. It's got grated fresh nutmeg, demerara sugar, unsalted butter, flour. Just nice, really nice, crispy crumble topping. And then I've got some really nice homemade creme anglaise, which is like a cold custard. I reckon they're about ready to turn. Yep. Perfect. You can see how quick these are. I mean, I'm doing this all in real time. So I've literally just made the mix and cooked the pancakes in real time. And as I say, these are quite light, really fluffy, completely different to crepe style pancakes, which are just totally flat. These are, they almost souffle up a little bit. They'll rise, they'll be light and fluffy in the center, just with a nice little lightly crisp exterior. And it's important just to make sure that they're cooked all the way through, which I can just feel they're nice and springy, so they definitely are. Perfect. So there we go. So as I say, got my lovely Yorkshire rhubarb compote. So I'm just going to put a couple of nice generous spoons of that on top. I've got my nice vanilla creme anglaise, which you could warm up if you want to and have like hot custard, but I quite like the contrast of the hot and cold. And then we've got our crumble topping, which is going to give a lovely texture. And that is looking quite naughty. So there we go. That's what I'll be having this pancake day. Buttermilk pancakes with Yorkshire rhubarb, creme anglaise and almond crumble. Whatever you have on yours, I hope this helps and I hope you enjoy.